Tarisland. We have some big news coming out of Tarisland. There was a recent interview with the CEO, and he answered some massive questions that people have had regarding pay to win, regarding what kind of game Tarisland is going to be. It's going to be competitive, because it's going to be for casual players. How are they going to balance it? What kind of monetization are they going to use? How are they going to afford not having any pay to win in the game? And he answers many of these questions. We're going through them today, and I know there's a lot of questions regarding the beta and the launch, and right now we do not have any news regarding the beta. Once we have it, you guys will be the first one to see it on this channel, so do not worry about that. But hopefully we're getting it very soon. But the beta is in November and the launch hopefully sometime early next year. But let's check out this interview real quick, because he talks about like the game and the changes that they have made. The most important thing that I see from this is how are they making Tarisland? What is it all about? How the pay to win is going to work? So right now I want to just jump quickly into the most important thing that people are wondering about is the pay to win, right? All right, here is what he says. Not selling numerical props. So this is the question from the interviewer. He's saying, how are you going to be able to do it? Because most free games need pay to win to survive. That's how they roll. And this is where he talks about this, right? And what he's saying is there hasn't been a multi-platform MMORPG game that truly does not sell data, and Tarisland will be the first one. Sell data basically means pay to win, right? Because it's like roughly translated from Chinese to English. But he's correct. A cross-platform MMO for mobile and PC, we have not seen one without pay to win. It's been a lot of promises about being not pay to win, but we have never seen it. And trust me, I know every single MMORPG that has had a promise of not being pay to win turn into pay to win. So that is why a lot of people are skeptical to it. But from what they have said so far, we'll get into it soon. But let's look at the answer real quick, right? He says, what everyone is worried about is that we don't sell values and make money. The game may eventually be changed to selling values or be shut down. It only sells appearances and functional props. So like we saw in the beta, they're going to only sell skins. Currently, there are many popular competitive games and successful operations cases on the market. Although we all know that the number of players in competitive games is generally greater than that in MMORPGs, after our evaluation, as long as certain numbers of players is ensured, operations and profits can be maintained by selling appearances. So basically what this means is they're going to focus, of course, on having no pay to win at all. And they're going to be successful with it for a long time, probably up to a year. But the question is, what happens when it's not profitable anymore, right? They don't make enough profits by just selling appearances. And he's also talking about like selling backspace and backpacks, placing props for more trading grids, stuff that's not pay to win. But what happens when the game does not meet the player base? Is it going to shut down, or are they going to introduce pay to win? And the answer to that is they're most likely going to introduce some kind of pay to win. They won't be shutting down this game because it's not profitable. They will try to make it profitable by pay to win. So it is a what if, and this is where the other stuff becomes very important, right? Because he talks about this pay to win stuff, which is important, how it's going to work, how by having mobile and PC is going to attract enough players for them to be successful. They've done a lot of research on it. But here comes in my experience with MMOs overall, okay? Because what they have aimed for, which is very important, is successful MMO products, this is the entry asking, often have long-term vitality of several years, up to 10 years, which is true. If you make a good game, it can last for 10 years. And this is why it's so important, which they have seen. This is the answer from the CEO, is you need to have a high quality game. If you don't have a high quality game, you will not be able to maintain a player base, and it will go bad. So here are these are actually proven ways to have a good player base. First, you have a very good product, a good game like Tarisland, but there are so many things that are very important that they have tackled, but some they haven't yet. Number one is listening to feedback from the community. There's a lot of MMOs. New World is a great example. If you take one of the recent MMOs, New World is a great example that came out. It was a great, fantastic game. They did not listen to player feedback for a long time, lost a lot of population, did not listen to player feedback. And when they finally listened, many months later, which they finally did recently, they saw grow in player base. So the most important thing is actually listen to player feedback early and make those changes early so you don't lose population over time. Second thing is the game, again, is this, they have suited this game both for casual players and kinda not really competitive players. Hopefully they do more for competitive players, but casual players, this game will be perfect, okay? Because he talks about this in the article too, because they want to make a casual game, so having seasons so people can get into the game and back into the game, making it easy for people to catch up, which is a great thing. You know, it's important getting constant influx of new players, but also maintaining the players they have, right? So those are the two important things. Now, why do people quit games? Okay, they quit games because, especially mobile games, is if they can't catch up. Okay, if they can't catch up to the other players that they're playing with, their guild, their teammates, their friends, they quit the game. And they are doing a great job in maintaining so everybody can catch up. The other thing is bugs and glitches. If there's often bugs and glitches happening, people end up quitting the game. So we have three massive things right now that is very important to focus on. And then the next thing is content updates kills so many games. Lost Ark had a problem with it. New World had a problem with it. A lot of MMOs have a problem with this, because when you release an MMORPG, it's a massive game. You put in 3-4 years. They have said this here. They had 200 to 300 people working on the game. They've been working on this game for up to 3 years, probably hitting 4 soon, and they're gonna put a lot of effort into this. And when the game is out, what most games, MMOs especially, do is lackluster content updates, and that kills game populations like crazy. Because what I saw from the beta, I played the beta, and the beta for competitive players can be played through in 3 weeks. For people over a longer period of time, for more casual players, it will take probably a month or two, right, at most. Now, if they're gonna have their seasons with updates every 3 months or 4 months, people would not have content to play for several months. If they're slow with content updates, or if the content they come up with, let's say they come up with a new dungeon or new raids or new content updates, but you can run through it within a week, people are going to leave the game. So this is the main issue most MMOs have, that they have to tackle, they have to plan for and prepare. Because if they do not have content releasing, especially in the early phases of the game, and they expect the release globally to last for a long period of time, it's not good enough and people will leave. So these are major issues they have to look at if they're going with a no pay to win route, because what's going to be most important for them is actually maintain the player, right? If they don't maintain the players, they will have to go the pay to win route. So they talk a little bit about this right here. Sorry, I had to rant a little bit, you know. I had to give my input on this because it's so important. Like, the game is quality, trust me, but there are many things I feel like they're not taking a look at while releasing the game. If they're going with the promise of being no pay to win, you have to take a look at these issues, or the game is going to suffer, right? And you have to, like, let's see here. They talk a little bit about the dual market, PC and mobile dual end versions. Now, this is a good thing, okay? Because this makes me believe that they might have a chance to stay no pay to win, because getting both, making such a good game, and the nice thing about it is they build the PC client and the mobile client separate. Okay, so you're gonna get a good quality PC client, you're gonna get a good mobile client, but it's gonna be cross-platform, right? It's gonna be cross-play, so you can get a much bigger player base to sustain those numbers. So if they are very good at releasing cool costumes, releasing cool mounts, making sure like the monetization is good, that people want to pay. Because I will be, if I enjoy a game, I'm going to be supporting it. I'm going to be supporting them, but they're going to have, again, the player base. And now, which is really cool, is this game won't have any auto. They talked a lot about this, and it's also, which I don't completely like, is going to be very PvE focused game. Right here we talk about PvE a little bit, and he says here is, in addition to PvE gameplay, of course, it's going to be puzzles and PvP gameplay, but it's not enough. I really hope to see some guild versus guild content, and because if you're going to have massive guilds with 170 members and you don't have good guild content, there's no point in having these massive guilds. What I'm going to do with 170 people in my guild? Am I just going to do like boring events that happen now and then? How am I going to include the 170 people in a community? There has to be massive events. There has to be some kind of guild versus guild PvP, so you can engage with your guild, with your community, or there's no point in having massive guilds like this. Now the PvE overall, I am very happy with the PvP. Hopefully they keep the bosses stuff difficult, and have high hopes for the game. And I do think, again guys, if you're gonna look for a good MMORPG experience, which is gonna be completely free to play, there's gonna be no pay to win, no gold selling, there's going to be no silver selling, there's not going to be like some shady pay to win, because a lot of MMOs do this too, right? They make this promise of no pay to win, and they're like, yeah, we're not selling you legendary gear, we're not selling you legendary stuff, we're just selling you gold, you can buy the gold. That is also pay to win, but they're not doing any shady things like this yet, which is good, like most MMOs do. But and that's why it will still stay free to play for now. So overall, this article is great. I will link it below if you guys want to check out, put it in my Discord too. So overall, he just talks about how long they've been working on it, what they're going to be focused on, and how you can make sure that this game will not end up going the pay to win direction. So very excited for this. Again, when they release the beta launch date, I will make a video on the beta. There's a lot of input I want to give on like the beta itself. A lot of people will be questions about what classes to play. I'll make a video on that, everything you need to know about the beta, all that Tarisland content that you guys need, I will give it to you guys, trust me. So make sure you give me a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, check out this video right here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.